in outbound sales, there are only two things that stand between you and your potential customers. And one of those things is sales research. My name is Andrew, and I've been in sales development for Saas for over 5 years. And today we're going to talk about the most complex part of getting your business its new customers, about finding them. So let's imagine that you're running a software business and you are not sure in terms of where to start in getting your business new customers. It seems like your platform can do a lot and your service is a great fit for all the teams. Therefore, you can pretty much go to any US or Canada-based business and try to get them as a customer, and with some chance you will succeed. That's totally wrong. Try to remember how many emails you send to spam every week. Try to remember how many LinkedIn messages you get and never respond to, and how many phone calls you don't want to pick up. And even if you pick them up, you want to hang up as fast as possible. Why? Because the conversation is totally irrelevant and you see no value in participating. What can sales rep do about you not answering the email or not picking up the phone? There are two superpowers that would technically solve the issue. One is to be able to convince each and every prospect that your solution is exactly what they're looking for, no matter who they are, where they are, and what their business does. And the second one is to find prospects that are interested in your solution right now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to help you with the first one, but the second one can be trained and mastered. And today we're going to talk about 4 steps you need to go through to find prospects that are interested in your platform or service right now. In fact, there are 4 steps you need to go through to find prospects that are the best fit for your solution and they are looking for your solution right at this moment. I'm going to go through all of those steps one by one, but we'll focus on them in more detail in our future videos. So feel free to subscribe and use comment section to share your opinion. So the first step is creating the generalized ICP. This step is the simplest one and it's designed for you to have a general idea about who your ideal customer is. You have to add super broad criteria, like you can work with businesses from 1 to 2,000 employees in North America, Europe, etc., just for you to filter out prospects that are not going to work with you and you are not going to work with them under any circumstances. So that's the first step. You have to create the generalized ICP for your team to have something to work with. Considering this step is super manual and it requires a lot of time and a lot of effort from you or key members of your team, it would make sense for you to hire somebody to do that. Gladly, SalesNash is able to provide you with a researcher that can do that for you for 1 day free of charge. Feel free to use the link in the comments to provide us with your ideal customer profile information for us to find a sample of prospects for you or even assign a researcher for a full day with no costs associated. The second step is to segment the ideal customer profile by niche, problem you are solving, or the use case your prospects are going to have with your software or a platform. So as for now, presumably you have a generalized ICP where you have thousands and thousands of potential best fit customers, but you are not able to reach out to them because you don't have a single value proposition for all of them. As we discussed in previous videos, call center platforms are being used by support teams, by sales teams. Sales software is being used by sales teams, but also by marketing teams, and all of them have different use cases. So what you want to do is you want to focus on the one use case or one segment of your platform or a service to create a single value proposition. To do that, the best thing is to interview your clients. If you don't have any clients or you have a very limited number of clients with very specific use cases, what you want to do is you want to do market research. Use Google, no magic bullets here, just find all the information you can to presume the ideal use case for your platform. Usually, ideal use cases are tied to higher value or higher revenues that your team is going to get. Your main goal in terms of segmenting those prospects is to get to the point where you have a segment with anywhere between 100 to 500 companies, so that all those companies have a single use case or a single problem or single decision-making process. Because the next step for us would be to find the right decision maker. This step is not as important as the previous one, but it's super important for you to get the initial conversations because you have to identify who's the ideal decision maker for buying your product or a software. And to do that, the best thing, as I mentioned, is to interview your clients. But if you are not able to, do a simple research on LinkedIn and presume 1 to 3 titles that are the best fit for any kind of campaign you are planning to run, whether it's an email campaign or a calling campaign or LinkedIn campaign, etc. It doesn't matter. You have to find the person who presumably is going to make a decision, but this person should not be too high in the company hierarchy. We're speaking mostly about mid-sized sales. Therefore, you can reach out to a VP of a specific department or a chief CXO of a specific department as soon as you see that you are able to have a conversation with him. But don't go too high and don't go too low, because otherwise your campaign is not going to be efficient. The fourth step is pretty straightforward. As soon as you formed your general ideal customer profile and you formed your segmented ideal customer profile and you find decision makers, or at least figured out a guideline for you to find perfect fit decision makers for your product or service, the next step is pretty much to generate the list. So you have to find all the companies that fit your criteria, form a list, find all the information that's important for you, and again, that's based on the type of campaign you are going to run. As soon as you're running an email campaign, you need to collect all the information about the prospect, all the information about the company, emails, social media links, and all the additional information that you are going to use as a valuable variable. So for example, if it's important for you to know what kind of software they use, just collect it and add it to the list. As soon as it's important for you to see how many team members they have, collect this information and add it to the list as a variable. We're going to cover that in more details in the next videos, but for now, collect all the possible information that you need. As soon as you're running a calling campaign, again, you would need their phone number and all the information that I mentioned. So the last step is pretty much the least step of preparation for the campaign. So you need to get all the information you and your sales team would need to get those people on the call with you or your sales team. Okay, so to summarize, there are 4 steps you need to go through as soon as you would like to find prospects that are the best fit for your product and the ones that are interested in your product or service right now. And those 4 steps are creating a generalized ICP, segmenting the ideal customer profile by niche, problem, or use case your prospects are going to have. Third one is finding a decision maker or creating the guideline of finding a decision maker. And the fourth one is actually finding decision makers, getting all the contact information and all the additional information that's being used for the campaign. So those are the 4 steps you have to go through as soon as you are planning to start your campaign to get your business new customers. But feel free to reach out to us, use the link in comments, or share any information in the comment section as soon as you would like professionals to look into that and maybe help you with your own lead generation. Thanks and see you next time.